Prairie, June is a wonderful time to be in the prairie. Actually, most any time, any month in the growing season is a wonderful place to be in the prairie. I think right here at the terminus of our nature trail, we see a few things that just really indicate how diverse prairie vegetation is. It's not all spectacular color all the time, although there's lots of it. There's also uh, the grasses, of course, the prairie grasses we talk about. Most of those are well known, are the late summer ones. But here, early on, we have a lot of these so-called graminoids. This is one of the sedges, and here's another sedge. They all have wonderful Latin names, and people have given them more recently common names. It can be daunting to keep up with the names, but the diversity in this is absolutely marvelous. You can even see here. You can see how different they are, and they're not all graminoids. We have several rushes here. This is one of the more common rushes here. We might have a half a dozen different kinds of rushes out here, and even in the graminoids, this is a slightly different sedge again. So this is similar, but it's not the same. This one is already ripe. Look at the seed there. It's one of the early ones. And this one here, actually called Cristatella, that's just not even blooming yet. So amazing diversity just in all the greenery out here. We can go on, and it's been a wonderful year for beardstang. A lot of the CRP fields have just been loaded with the beardstang as the tail end of their bloom. Out in the distance there, we can see along the trail is one of those wonderful phlox varieties. That's an early flower, of course. We'll just walk back along the trail and see what we want to pass on. Amongst the early grasses, and that's a true grass, is this June grass right here. This is a short grass. As a matter of fact, that's used in horticulture because it makes just a green tuft of foliage, then has these nice flower heads out there. They dry very nicely too. This June grass, very appropriate because we are in the middle of June. What else? Oh, here's June grass, and right next to it is some of the early black-eyed Susan, Rudbeckia hirta, coming to really massive bloom. There will be a lot of it out here in the next 2 weeks if the 100-degree temperatures next week don't burn them up. No, they don't, because they're very tough. They're very adapted. The ferny foliage here is one of our many prairie plants, prairie mimosa. There's a little white fluffy flower head later on, and we have a lot of it out here. All kinds of different things. Annual sunflower is right here, and we have a whole bunch of different sunflower species out here. But this, the annual one, has a relatively large flower head, and of course it's the progenitor of the sunflowers, seeds that we feed to the birds and maybe even munch on. You know, sunflower oil is made from that. So it's just amazing how much. Something we don't have a whole lot of here, surprisingly. This is a wild onion, and very often considered a weed. In fact, it's a bit weedy in my garden. But out here we don't have too much of it, and this will have a purple bloom later on, pink-purple stars. Fairly attractive, but they can spread it considerably, like in a garden setting. Very often they do, and you find them along country roads and different places. And why would they not grow out here? So mysteries always abound. It's amazing how little we know about the little we know about the natural world. Beautiful daisies, in my opinion. Let's see if we can still catch any monarch butterflies. They sure were out a while ago. Let's just wade up in there and see. This is a monarch habitat project also for IDOT, the Illinois Department of Transportation. This is a monarch byway station or flyway station. I've heard both names. And this is the common one. There's a little butterfly. There's a white-spotted skipper out there hanging out over here. Heavenly fragrance, sort of honey-like. And there's bumblebees here. And of course there's plenty of, they really scurry away in a hurry. That was one of the beetles, milkweed beetles. They have a really colorful red coloration. And just like the monarch, it tells others, I'm poisonous, be careful. See right there, they're hiding inside the flowers. Oh, this is something else. That's a beetle. Those are beetles. But they also are specific to milkweeds. That's different from what I was looking at before. And their strong color tells predators, I am poisonous, I am toxic, I don't taste good. So if a person would look behind you, over there, I think, yeah, there it is, the famous monarch butterfly. Wonder if he made it all the way from Mexico or Michoacan in Mexico in the highlands, or if this is already a second generation. I don't know that. But they're certainly colorful and they're totally interdependent with milkweeds. Here we have the common milkweed. I wish we could capture the fragrance for the video. There it goes. And then another interesting plant right behind it that's a bit related. It's dog bane or Indian hemp. The Native Americans used the stems just like the Europeans use flax. Oh, look at that. There's one of those beetles. Just metallic looking. It just reflects, looks like metal. The shields on the elytras. There's another one down below there. And that's the host plant for it. They occur on nothing else but the dogbane. That's a dogbane beetle, and there's a lot of them out here. And again, this is the importance of plants like this. Some people don't like bugs, but you don't have insects, you don't have birds, you don't have a lot of other things. And I've seen several nests out here recently, and that's interesting. We have dick thistles out here, red-winged blackbirds in particular. Those are really common. But dick thistles, that comes another monarch. Well, it's actually several of them out here cruising in. Lots of bumblebees. A person can almost spend hours. There's two of them scrapping over there. Sometimes I think I should just park my chair in here and just sit here for an hour and watch it. Oh, this is interesting too. Milkweeds very often get, they can get kind of buggy. They get aphids real bad. But here we have one of the lady beetle species, this one right there, and several species of those. And they feed entirely on aphids. Right here. There's 2 of them on these leaves here. So just a whole bunch of habitat here. In the evening sometimes is a good time to see them because they come out after the heat of the day. There's some type of a small beetle. In fact, I see the same ones all over. Oh, this is the milkweed beetle here. Let's see if we can get close without scaring it off. Right here. If you look and see just how colorful it is, again, it's telling everything. Don't eat me. You'll spit me out. But I don't want you to kill me first. Yeah, they're hanging on the lower side. Here's another beetle, totally different again over here. There go our friends again. So even just one cluster of milkweed here has a whole bunch of different insects on it. Bumblebee just cruised by. Like I say, you could spend an hour in here and you'd find all kinds of different insects. And the interesting thing is, oh, this is, I thought this was a particularly nice common milkweed, but guess what it is? Sullivan's milkweed. There's a cluster of Sullivan's milkweed right in here with that nice beautiful pink another one of the many insects here. Amazing. The milkweeds, just from an aesthetic standpoint, look at this over here. The stems, and this has a nice strong rib on it, but it's a common milkweed. I just think they have a real sculptural look to them. Just amazing. I have to go back again what I looked at. I might have just looked at common milkweed after all. Maybe it wasn't Sullivan's. Yeah, that is Sullivan's. Of course it is. Absolutely. Yeah, smooth. And again, the leaf is very different in the veinations. The vein in here, if you look at the edges, they're interconnected, short of the edges. So there's all the veins are interconnected. This one here, the veins just more or less seem to spread out, or at least it's not as obvious that they're connected. And this has larger flower buds. It's very smooth. This is a little hairy in texture, at least on the main stem. So yeah, there are differences. Still, you can get fooled.
Can you wrap it up?
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Behind you another one.